Hi everybody. This is going to be number 5 of my Estate Sales Bizarre Stories segment. This is an 8-part series. I probably will add maybe a couple other ones if people actually like these. If you do like these, please let me know by subscribing or liking or commenting. You can find more information about my business, my services at estatesaleSOKC.com. You can find me on Instagram at the @ Estate Sales OKC. I'm on Twitter as well. I'm on LinkedIn, whatever. Just try to find me and follow me if you enjoy my services and my sales and, you know, reseller tips and tricks and all, you name it. I try to help people out as much as I possibly can. Okay, so this particular segment is actually called I'm a Broker. And not all of my stories are about real estate agents, but a lot of them are. And I want to say that this is probably the last one, actually, but 3 out of the 8 are about brokers and real estate agents, and them causing me issues with me trying to sell the stuff within the home. Now, this particular lady, it was an interesting situation because she was referred to me by a good friend. And the good friend just so happened to know her from a questionable, in my opinion, multi-level marketing scheme group that is here in Oklahoma City. And if you don't know what it's called, I'll be sure and tell you what it's called if you want to ask me personally. But you know, it is my opinion that it's definitely a shady, you know, multi-level marketing type of scheme, and they're not just in Oklahoma City. It is the group is basically, if you are a newbie and you're starting out and you need, you know, leads, you meet with 5 or 10 or 20 or 30 or however many people pay for this membership. And you go in, and there can only be one person of your industry. So there's one real estate agent, you know, one fireman, one policeman, one appraiser, one person of each industry. And you all meet, you know, once or twice a month, and you'll have breakfast and, you know, probably, you know each other, you know, make bullshit comments or whatever, you know, whatever. There's a robin that just landed literally in my front yard. But that being said, literally, I mean, that kind of situation as far as a group goes. You go, you pay their memberships, and then you also agree to certain rules and policies that you have to adhere to in order to keep your group membership. And one of the group's rules and benefits is that you have to give referrals, a certain amount of referrals to the people within the group. And when you do, you get a number. And if you're really good, then you could move up the ladder in the, you know, the group. Or if you don't get any leads, then they're probably going to throw you out. I don't know. I checked into it for a little bit, and I thought it was complete bullshit. So I didn't participate. Anyway, so I didn't participate in it at all. And I hired, unfortunately, or this lady hired me. I met with her. It was a super easy transition as I was referred. Walked in, she had already said that they had already discussed everything that they wanted to keep. There would be no issues with anything that was going to come out of the sale. And she was selling the house, as she's a broker, and she was selling her parents' home and saving her parents some money, I imagine, too. But I don't think anybody had passed away. Maybe her dad had passed away, something like that, but maybe her mom was either moving in with her, maybe go to assisted living or something like that. But her name was Kathy. This happened on the south side, and it was a cute house, probably maybe like $350,000, somewhere $400,000 house, something like that. Really cute pool. And if you went to the estate sale, it was a big long line. And if you went to the estate sale, you were probably pretty disappointed because the estate sale, everything was advertised, everything was marketed. And again, this is my number 1 pet peeve, and it's the first 2 paragraphs of my contract is what's for sale and what's not for sale, and how are you going to either remove the items that is not for sale or clearly mark them so that there is no confusion as to what's for sale and what's not for sale. And nothing was marked, everything was removed. They, you know, left it in a complete pit, as though most homes are when we take them over. So if your house is a complete pit, it is okay. I have seen literally a hoarder's home where it's stacked 8 foot into a home, tall into a home, and you can't even walk without turning sideways to go down the hallway. And I've taken it over where somebody's just left a house and didn't clean for a while. Okay, that's completely normal. But the house required a lot more labor than it did when I first saw it. And there is often that is the case. You'll look at it and you go, oh, okay, this is super clean. Well, by the time they've moved out, it turns into a nightmare because they didn't clean anything, they haven't done their dishes, there's food left over. I mean, it can be quite a nasty situation sometimes. But this particular situation, there was stuff that kept on coming up missing every day. I would go there, I would set up sale, and I have a very, very good memory. And generally, if I put something somewhere, there's a reason why I put it there. Either it is a higher end item and it needs to be put at a certain level in the house so people can see it, or maybe I might put it close to the front door so that I know if it comes up missing that it's gone. Well, things kept on coming missing, and I didn't say anything because I didn't want to have any problems with the person that was having the estate sale. And so, we continued on with the situation and setting up the estate sale. And, before I, had actually really started advertising the estate sale. And once we had completed the setup, I came back to Kathy and said, look, these items came up missing. What happened? Because, I try to assume positive intent that people aren't really trying to really steal from me or steal from my contract or my interest in the stuff that, we have once we've signed the contract. So I politely messaged her. Well, it turned into, nasty immediately. I could care less what your contract says, charge me, I could give a crap, blah, 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 blah. And, complete 180 as far as, I need your services, praise you, Justin, we're so excited that you're here, we're so glad to, have your service and your help. Complete 180. Turns into crazy nut job. Doesn't care about the contract, completely disregards anything regarding the contract. And not only that, but there are people from her family there. This is unbeknownst to me, none organized. As if it was, it would have been done in a different contract because it requires a different amount of accounting when people buy things before a sale versus after an estate sale. So literally, I've got people lined up and they've got stuff, they've removed stuff all through this house. Now, we sold a couple $1,000s from the stuff, but all of it was before the estate sale had happened. And I've got people lined up, probably 50 or 100 people lined up all the way to the road. It's a very large property. And I've got people before the estate sale leaving with their hands full of all the stuff that the people wanted in the line. So immediately, as you can imagine, that upset me because I knew that everybody coming in that day was going to be upset with me because things had been taken and that was going to get out. People were going to go put it on Google, people was going to put it on Facebook, and I was going to be immediately attacked for it, which is quite often. And so I didn't have any control over that. I can't control what she does in her own home. I can't control that. All I can do is simply enforce my contract and charge her by our contract. And so that's exactly what I did. Well, second day comes. We had the sale. There's more stuff missing. So now I've got people at my half off time that are showed up, lined up. They saw something at the very last minute at the estate sale. Maybe they were pretty organized. They came at the last minute to see what's going to be half off the next day. There was more stuff missing. And this time it was marked sold. It was marked sold, but it wasn't paid for yet. And I messaged her. I want to know what was going on. I don't have payment for this yet. You've put me in charge. I'm responsible for everything here. And the responsibility goes a lot further than just our contract. Legally, once I have an estate sale and I've charged for an estate sale and I've done an estate sale, there are certain things that I have to report to the state of Oklahoma and to the federal government. And if you come and you start stealing stuff from me and you start taking stuff, it puts me in a real situation where we don't want to be in, okay? And it can turn into a criminal situation for the seller and maybe even me, depending on what you're doing. So my interest is, a lot of interest with that. I saw it as her using intent to steal from me on the sale and to steal from my sellers and hurt my business. And so I charged her accordingly. It literally ended up in her telling me that she was a broker and that she didn't care and that it didn't matter what I thought. And it was a really nasty situation. I think she went and left some bad feedback on Google regarding it. Again, her real estate agency is on the south side of town, real small little building. I think it's just her and her husband. They've been working forever and ever and ever. And I mean, she was super entitled and definitely ruined the entire experience for all the shoppers and me. And it caused me some bad reviews. So, when you read bad reviews, I want you to think about, just take, a step back and think what I possibly can control in my own control. And realize that I can't control these people, all of them. There's no way. All I can simply do is enforce my contract and do my contract as I do each time, which is set the stuff up, present it in its best way, price it, and cut a customer a check after the estate sale. So on to the next one.